You might have noticed that lately I have been pretty much off the radar from the online world. I have published very few videos in the last few months. I have posted very little on Instagram and very little on Facebook, and I've done 0 webinars, very few Facebook lives, very few live streams, and in general have felt, to be honest, like a huge reluctance towards posting anything. And a part of that has been being in places where Wi-Fi has just not been functioning, and so Gabriel and I spent half of October and all of November on the island of Sumbawa with this beautiful artist residency collective called Momentum Collective, doing a lot of acro yoga, acrobatic skills, aerial silks, and teaching breathwork. And because of the Lombok earthquake, the Wi-Fi was pretty much knocked out, so for a month and a half I was pretty much just not able to be online. And then after that we've been leading retreats back to back, and so following that we went from Sumbawa, visited and attended the Unconventional Life Retreat, and then went straight into teaching the Ecstatic Awakening Retreat, a 5-day break followed by the Dream Beyond Mastermind Immersion, followed by a 2-week break, followed by the Ultimate Goddess Retreat and the Elemental Evolved Masculine Immersions. In other words, 4 big retreats, huge, like back to back with no break in between. And so naturally there hasn't been so much time to be online because we've been so active in the real world, in the person, in the sweat, dance, flesh, touch, breath experience of just being in life. And so there's a few different elements to this, but what I want to share with you today is partly a personal update about just what is happening within this being right now and what's happening for the future, as well as to extend an invitation for you, in other words, a mission should you choose to accept it, which is a mission that is a non-doing more than anything. And so I'll explain what I mean by that, and everything shall become crystal clear. And so first of all, as I just shared, we were having retreats just back to back to back. So Ecstatic Awakening Retreat followed by the Dream Beyond Mastermind Immersion, the Ultimate Goddess Retreat, simultaneously as I was leading the Ultimate Goddess Retreat together with 3 beautiful other women. Gabriel was leading the Elemental Evolved Masculine Immersion, and we synchronized the 2 retreats and had some incredible practices and meditations together where we linked up telepathically in the field with each other. So all of those experiences were really deeply magical, both for us as well as for everyone who attended it, and it was a fuck ton of work, and it was so much to organize. And being the main organizer for 3 of those 4, not for the men's retreat but for the women's retreat, the Dream Beyond and Ecstatic Awakening, it was like I don't even know what I was thinking when I scheduled it, but I tend to feel like pretty superhuman when I just like envision the future. I'm like, yeah, sure, we can do that. 3 retreats with no break in between, no problem, we can do that in the afternoon, you know? But it's a fuck ton of work, and it's months of preparation for each one of these, and so I kind of overscheduled. And for the first time in I don't know how many years, but for the first time in maybe ever, I was facing and experiencing what I can only describe as a burnout. And probably not a super severe one where I have to be like, you know, away from things for months afterwards, but I was just experiencing feeling extremely overworked, really overwhelmed, and that my beautiful human actually had needs to rest and to take a break. And I was sharing with Kelly Love, one of my best friends, in the beginning of December, when I was like, Kelly, I don't know what's happening. I'm not experiencing my usual motivation. I feel like I should be feeling more motivated to like create and to do stuff and do all of this. And she was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. You're like the most motivated person I know. You just overworked. And when she said that, when she was like, you're just overworked, I was like, I have not had a break in 10 years. For the last 10 years, I have never not been in the process of organizing one or usually multiple retreats. Ever. I have not had a single break for the last decade, and even before that when I was dancing full-time and performing and the dance career and all the things, and then before that. And so I just realized, like, shit, I've not had a break in a decade, if ever, and my entire system was just screaming to slow down. And I spoke with my friend Imaya Sabina as well, and she was like, yeah, Ronja, sometimes you need to pull back before you push forwards. And this is basically what this whole preamble is leading up to, is that this is what is calling me right now. That what feels really true and really strong in this moment is just an incredible retreat from a lot of projects and pulling back from a lot of the many different things that I've been doing, and a really deep and honest reassessment of what are the things that are in the highest alignment and the highest excitement and the deepest inspiration, and what is the next thing that is wanting to emerge right now. And so basically what this has led me to is a deep calling to go inwards, to go inside, and to do less and to slow down. And so what this basically means, what feels really strong and what feels really true, is that in the coming months, and even for like all of 2019 when I'm looking forward, is a year of doing less. It's a year of getting more done but doing less, and going inwards and slowing down. And so right now, Gabriel and I are up here in the mountains, up in Bali Eco Village. We've been here for the last couple of weeks. First, I was here with the women when we had the Ultimate Goddess retreat. And then after that, Gabriel and I took like another 8 days just being up here. And up here, there's like no Wi-Fi, pretty much. There's very low reception. There's not really anything here other than incredibly beautiful nature. And so right now we are in this rainforest valley, surrounded 360 degrees with mountains and rainforest. If you imagine like almost like a circular valley like this, with rainforest and mountains going down, and then it goes down into a valley, and then up in the middle, and here is Bali Eco Village, and we are right now here in a bamboo house with the balcony overlooking the jungle. And if you walk down that way 15 minutes, you come to a river with 2 waterfalls, actually several waterfalls, where you can swim and bathe and just give everything to nature. And we have an outdoor shala here. And so what we've been doing here for the last 8 days is pretty much nothing other than reading books, meditating, doing yoga, being in nature, being with each other, sitting by the fire. And the other day I was sitting in the yoga shala, which is this open air yoga shala with no walls other than bamboo railing, and then, you know, a roof overhead for the rain. And I was just sitting there for several hours wrapped in a blanket, and just, it's cooler up here than down in Ubud and in Canggu and Uluwatu. And so sitting there wrapped in a blanket and for hours just watching the rain, basically. Just sitting there and breathing and looking at nature and taking everything in, and just looking at the rain and the birds and the trees and everything, and sometimes just closing my eyes and just feeling and hearing everything, and then opening my eyes again and seeing the mist move very slowly through the mountains, and just sat there for several hours with nothing else than just the rain and the weather and the sounds of aliveness and everything. And it's pure bliss to just really slow down and experience being by the waterfalls, being by the river, being by a tree, just looking at the fire, drinking tea, reading a book, meditating, doing yoga, breathing, being with each other. And so this is what calls me right now. And this is what the invitation is for you as well, is to slow down. Just look at the insanity of how fast we're moving all the time, how incredibly fast we're moving. And to ask the question, what is it all for? And what do we actually reach when we continuously keep on chasing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing? So slowing down, being in nature, breathing with the trees, whether you're in a jungle or in a rainforest, or you just have a forest or a park close by where you live, or you can go out somewhere and just be with the trees. Be with the river, be with the lakes, be with the ocean, sit on the beach, breathe with the waves. If you have a body of water close by where you can go somewhere, if there's anything that you're holding in your emotions or in your body, then just give it to the water. Just give it, give it, give it. There's nothing that the breath cannot carry. There's nothing that nature cannot receive and recycle. Just feel and allow yourself to sink into the support that is always here. Already. And so for the coming months, I feel a huge call to be in nature, to breathe, to do yoga, to go to the gym as well. I'm feeling a huge excitement in just physical fitness and upgrade on that level as well, like feeling strong, feeling really balanced. So being in nature, as well as spending more time in meditation, more time in darkness. When we were on Sumbawa, then I was connecting in as well with my dear friends, Nicole Costeros and Crystal Rose, and the three of us together with Gabriel as well, and potentially also, maybe also Jonathan Fritzler. We are in the process of creating a darkness retreat called Seeing Beyond Eyes, which we do not know when it's going to be out, either late 2019 or early 2020 is kind of our feeling for it, but giving it time. But an incredibly deep experience of going into darkness for an extended period of time, which awakens the pineal gland and which also brings us into contact with the natural DMT state that happens in the brain when we are in prolonged periods of darkness. I will share more about this in other videos when I feel inspired to, but this is just a small teaser and mentioning of that. But basically what I wanted to share with you about that was that for a period of time, Nicole and Crystal and I, we were syncing up such that they were in the evening time in Europe and I was in the morning time in Indonesia. So in other words, between 4 and 5 a.m. every morning, I would go out under the stars and I would sit on the beach in front of the waves and meditate in complete darkness, sometimes with just my eyes closed or even eyes open, gazing into the night, or sometimes with a blindfold on and just feeling the darkness. And it reminds me of this Rumi poem that I love so much, that keeps on coming back throughout my life in different ways and keeps on carrying different meanings. And you might recognize this one as well. And the line of the poem from Rumi is, "The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep." The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. Something really powerful happens in that twilight zone, and that's that before dawn, when we're awake, when nobody else is awake, just us and the stars, just us in the night, just us in nature. And then when the sun rises above the horizon, that's the perfect moment for sun gazing. I can already feel how there's more to be shared here around these different topics, around darkness, around sun gazing, around meditation, around DMT, around the pineal gland and so on. But so let me know in the comment down below if there's anything that you want me to go deeper into, if you feel curious about anything, sun gazing, darkness, DMT, anything like that. But yeah, for now, just taking it as it flows. And so we were syncing up around that, and so that's another huge thing, is just the early dawn, the morning meditations and the night meditations as well. And so during the Ultimate Goddess Retreat and the Evolved Masculine Immersion, we had one night at the full moon where we synchronized at 3:33 a.m. crystalline grid darkness meditation. And actually don't feel like going into that more right now, but just a really profound experience of being there in the middle of the night in the darkness and linking up to something so much bigger. And so there's something around this that I want to convey right now, which is that connection that happens when we actually drop deeper in, pulling back before we push forwards, going deeper inside, watching less kind of counterintuitive, as I'm sharing this on a video, but watching less YouTube, watching less Facebook, or maybe not even doing that, but really taking more time in nature, more time in silence, more time in meditation, more time in breath work, more time in 22 minutes of bliss, or or dancing or whatever it is that calls you, but more time in just really sinking into experience and really, really, really tuning in, peeling off the distractions, going inwards, what is really in your highest alignment, and clearing away everything that is not that. And yes, sometimes there are things we need to do in life that are not necessarily in our highest alignment, but it is in support of the highest excitement and our inspiration, so that's okay as well. And at the same time, as much as is possible, clear away the clutter. So this is what I'm doing now, is that of all the projects and different things that I'm doing, clearing away everything that is not an absolute yes excitement and inspiration. And so for the coming months, what I'll be focusing on for 2019 for the springtime is that I'll be launching to a smaller group. We'll see exactly if I do a smaller launch or a big launch, but I'm in the process of creating a new online course called Central Bliss Become Multi-Orgasmic in 12 weeks, which is a really beautiful offering for women that we filmed in Bali, in the jungle, in our house, as well as up on top of the volcano Mount Batur, and we filmed the yoni egg practice in the steam from the volcano, for example, and so it's going to be an incredibly beautiful offering. And that I'll be focusing on during the entire springtime. And then around the summer solstice in June, we're having the ultimate goddess retreat, Hidden Paradise, up in the mountains in Spain. And then after that, a bit more than 2 months after that, we're having the Ecstatic Awakening Retreat, the annual one in the Hidden Paradise, which is going to be the deepest and most beautiful and biggest one so far. And after that, late 2019, we'll see if that is the moment for the darkness retreat, Seeing Beyond Eyes, or if that is more just a time to again go inwards, whether we go to the jungle or spend time on an island or something. We'll tune in with Gabriel as well. I'm just looking, he's sitting there on the balcony right now, writing music, writing poetry. Yeah, I'll put in some views of our view here as well, so that you can see what I see right now as well. So my loves, I feel like that was a complete share for today. It's just this really deep calling to go inwards and to slow down and to do less. And so I'm not going to make any promises about how much I'm going to share or how much I'm going to post or what's going to happen, but what I do feel clear about is just the permission to slow down, permission to read books, to meditate, to go for massages, to take things slower, to slow down, to speed up. One of my mentors and friends, Oren Harris, he talks about this a lot, is slowing down to speed up. Because if you're always in time and you're always in the linear time of trying to rush to get somewhere, you're actually not in full contact with the now, this vertical, ever-present slice of the present moment. And when you slow down, that channel opens and things can happen without time, where you just channel and things just come through without taking quote-unquote time for creation. That is perhaps for a different topic. So again, if there's anything that you would like for me to go deeper into, then you can share that in a comment down below. And either way, I wish you a really beautiful morning, day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. Early mornings, night, middle of the night, darkness. In the evening, turning off the lights, just having darkness in your home, or even just candles. Really, really beautiful. Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Going inwards, really listening to that whisper of your own soul and your own inspiration. What is wanting to come through? What is wanting to be transmitted? And are you fully present here, right now, with the beautiful intimacy of your own being? Okay. So, yeah, feels complete for now. Just sending you love.
Plants and animals can't sleep, packed in a bland mechanical trash heap. That's when a man that has that peace stands up and asks for everybody to please just listen. Rich vermilion veins pulse with a brilliant liquid maze of strange pulses. An ancient text in a modern day flesh called DNA. What a brave code. Again, but wait, here is the really strange thing. Every single step of the way there's been kindness, calm, and care between friends. Childbirth, long-term love, and amends. Poetry, culture, painting, song, dance, culinary arts and carvings, all crafts. Parties, heartfelt longing and laughter. Strong bonds built in the midst of disaster. Innocence, bliss, soft lips on skin. Diligence and willingness to ascend. Pilgrims, faith, and all living saints. Spiritual awakenings, psychedelic states. People who knew that even when it aches us, life is an infinite prism of give and take, yup. And it's still not clear which way all of this goes from right here. It'll grow like a vine on the tomb. It'll grow like a child in the womb. Life finds a way to climb through. It will do this with or despite you. It'll grow like a vine on the tomb. It'll grow like a child in the womb. Life finds a way to climb through. It will do this with or despite you.